Hello and welcome everyone. I am so incredibly excited to have the conversation that we're having today. It gives me great pleasure to introduce you to Kylie Evans. Now, Kylie is one of our newest transformologists in the world of Creatrix. And what Kylie has done in such an incredibly short period of time, not just for herself, but for all of these women that are following her, is nothing short of astounding. And that is why we have got Kylie online with us today. So Kylie, hello and welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Bree. It is an absolute pleasure to be here today, like big time.
Do you know what I'm really excited about? Is we always talk about, we are everyday, normal, real women that just have this burning desire to live our own best lives through helping other women. And when I think of an everyday, normal woman, I think of you, because your passion for what you're doing, for helping others, is just so damn contagious that you can't help but smile every single time that you see you come up on our Facebook feeds. So I'm excited to share your passion with our audience. Now, we were talking a little bit before we went online, and I know that in the lead up to you deciding to study Creatrix Transformology, you were, and still are, working with the Department of Education.
Yeah.
So can you take us back a little bit now? And I know this journey is quite fast paced because, like I said, you're one of our brand new transformologists. When did you do our training? Only about 2 months ago.
Yeah, I did the May. I was in the end of May group.
Yeah, so 2 months. 2 months old, and you made a very, very quick decision as well. So before we get to the decision, can you talk to us a little bit about where you were before you even found Creatrix? What your daily life was looking like, what you were looking for, and what you were frustrated with?
Yeah, I would say I've known that I've wanted to do something like this for forever, for as long as I can remember, even as a young child, wanting to help people, because I just feel, as a young child, I just felt really stuck from way back then, from history that sort of impacted my life. And I became a young mum at the age of 18. I left school really early. I finished school in year 8. I couldn't wait to get out and leave school, basically, and get in the workforce and become a mum. That was my main thing, to become a mum. But once I realised out there, once I became a mum, I needed to support my family. And that's when I sort of went, I didn't have the education. But a lot of the things that I wanted to really do was to help people. And I've went down the track of, I fostered children. I worked for DOCS, which now is FACS. I did a lot of the accesses for young children that needed to see their parents. So I saw a lot of people in hardship, I guess. And it just drove me further and further forward to want to go into that area to help. But with my education, that seemed to always hold me back, because I hadn't finished school. I didn't have a HSC. I didn't go to university. Anyway, I ended up falling into a position at a high school that I absolutely loved. I did family daycare for a long time, so I've always cared for children and stuff, but I worked in the high school, and I wanted to actually be a teacher, and then I wanted to be a counsellor. I wanted to be maybe a psychologist, but again, it just kept holding me back, like the paperwork. I don't think I'd be able to cope with that. I'm not good enough. I'm not educated enough. Anyway, this is going back like a lot of years ago. So if you think of all of that, every time I wanted to do something really positive to really help somebody, and I needed that certificate, I guess, to do that, I got scared and I basically ran the other way. So year after year after year, I did this. Eventually, I just sort of thought, well, I'm never going to get there. And it just, each year it made me feel worse about myself. And fast forward a little bit to all of that, I was pretty much lying just in bed scrolling through my Facebook, and I probably before that I'd changed a lot of my life. My husband and I had separated for whatever reason, and I moved away 8 years ago, really looking forward to change my life, to do things better, to educate myself. And I did that to a really good degree as far as I'm concerned. But then I still wanted to do more. And then I was just all self-help books, tapes on. I drove an hour to work and an hour home every day. And the self-help tapes and things like that, it all came down. I thought, yes, I'm going to be a motivational speaker. That's what I really want to do. I'm really passionate about it. I got so excited. I could, like, as you know, I get really excited. And then I thought, oh, but I can't talk in front of people. You know, I've got all this stuff that I want to do, I want to say, I want to help people, and then I can't talk in front of them. So I thought, I'll go to Toastmasters and I'll learn how to talk in front of people. And then I was talking to this lady one day about another project, which is called Love Bites, for youth into the school, that they want to, that's already in a lot of schools. And when I was talking to her about what I wanted to do, and I said, oh, I want to go to, you know, Toastmasters and learn how to speak. And she said, Kylie, you don't need to go. She said, you can speak, because I never stopped the whole time. So anyway, from that, I was just when COVID and we were on school holidays, and I was just sitting there. So this is only like the 30th of March. All of this, I'd already decided what I wanted to do, had a bit of an idea of what I wanted to do. And then I came across, it just popped up on my screen, this thing with Creatrix Transformologist. And I read through it and I went, oh my gosh, this is just everything, like covers everything from, I just couldn't believe my eyes when I saw it. So straight away, I think it was on the 30th or the 31st of March, I sent in a callback to, and beautiful Donna called me back. And yeah, it just basically went from there. And that was, yeah, by the 11th of April, I was signed up to go in to learn how to be a Creatrix Transformologist.
And I think what's really good about that, so your decision-making process was very quick in that you found something that resonated and you acted on that very quickly. But and a lot of women do this, is we forget about everything that happened in the lead up to the decision. And what I'm hearing you say is you had a childhood that maybe was less than desirable. It was challenging, and it gave you a lot of opportunities to A, grow, but B, know what you didn't want in your life. So it was kind of this catalyst for you to create something special. Then through your early adult years, you know, you were focused on the things that you loved, which was your family and providing support for your children and the children, you know, around you. The fact that you've fostered children and you've helped children who have been in really difficult situations speaks volumes for your heart and your caring nature. But through that experience, you started to see that there was still more that you could do for yourself and for the people that you wanted to help. So you then went on this personal development journey, which is where a lot of us start. It's that knowing that something is missing and seeking the information to fill the gap. So you'd already done all of this back work to get you into a position and place where it was less of, will I do it? And more of, when the right opportunity comes, I've already done all of this back work and I know that I'm going to grab it by both hands. And I remember our first conversation, you know, you were talking to me so much about your lack of self-worth because of your lack of education. And I think this is why I was so excited to speak to you, Kylie, because I know that we have women in our network who feel exactly the same way as you, in that they maybe haven't followed mainstream education. They don't have that magic piece of paper that gives them, you know, a sense of, this is who I am because the paper tells me that I can do it. And so they hold themselves back because they're lacking that one thing. So what was it for you that made you go, yes, I don't have the piece of paper, but I need to do this? Talk to me about that gap there. I don't have a qualification, but I need to help people. It's not just something I want to do, it's something I need to do. What made you take that leap of faith and go beyond the fear that had held you back for decades?
Right. Well, the first thing, like once I'd spoken to Donna, and I probably gave Donna a couple of phone calls in the meantime, but I think the biggest thing was I saw that it could actually help me. I could help me first and foremost to get past the blocks of feeling like, and like I'd watched video after video in that short space of time before I spoke to Donna Brennan, and then signing up, I'd watched, there was so much that Creatrix had there for me to watch, and I thought there can't possibly be that many women that they've videoed that feel exactly the same way as me, that now don't feel like that, and they're going forward with everything that they want to do. So that was probably a big turning point for me. And then when I saw that, like, to fix me was unbelievable, and my partner sort of said the same thing, like, first and foremost, but to be able to do everything that I've ever wanted to do in life on top of that was like a win-win type situation. I just can't tell you how excited I was. I just needed to do it. I didn't have the money. I just said, I don't know, I've just got to do it. And I was going to go to the bank, and we actually applied to the bank and everything, and to get a loan for me to go and do this so that I could start in that very next class, that May group, because I didn't want another second to go by. And one of the things that Donna said, like, you won't regret it. You know, you hear a lot of people say things like that, but looking at all the footage of everything else, I just knew it in my gut that this was it. And oh my gosh, I cannot tell you, it was the best decision that I've ever made. Donna Brenner said to me, she said, you won't regret it. She said, like, you're excited now after what you've seen, wait till you've done the course. And that just blew me away completely.
Yeah. And again, so just to, you know, lay this out the way that it is, like so many women, you don't have a previous business already established when you learnt this modality. You came into it purely because you were passionate about helping yourself to help others. B, you didn't have, you know, a sum of money just sitting there waiting for the perfect opportunity. So from the outside, there's not a lot going for you other than this is what I want to do, and there's something about it that makes me know that this is the step that I need to take. So this is a situation that a lot of women I know are going to relate to. However, talk to us about, because this is where it gets, this is, you know, we always talk about in the world of personal development, you know, the gurus tell us that if you just take the action, if you do everything you need to do, then you will, you know, get to the goal that you want to get to, and then you'll feel successful. And that works for some women, it does, but it's really hard to maintain that model. We have a different approach. We believe you work on you first, clear out all of your negative limitations, the sabotaging blocks that are going to get in your way, so that the activity that you need to do to create momentum becomes this effortless extension of self. And then when you do that, then you will have success. It's just inevitable. And you are a prime example of it, because you came into this program and we worked on you. You know, how do you feel about yourself now? Even though you don't have a fancy degree, you do have a certification with the Institute, but you don't have what, you know, mainstream would consider a degree. How do you feel about yourself now?
Oh, Brie, I'm just a totally different person. To me, if it was a degree that I was looking for, as far as I'm concerned, I've got that degree. I feel so good about myself. And I actually do remember the first time that we spoke, and you before I had Creatrix, and I couldn't even speak. I couldn't even say anything. I didn't really know, and I had to go away and think about it. And I was like, oh my gosh. And to look at that now, I can't even put it into words what I feel about myself. I'm so calm. And everybody keeps saying, Kylie, you're so calm. What's happened to you? And I said, I really am calm. Every situation, and I've had some tricky situations right up. Even yesterday, I had a humongous tricky situation that I dealt with, and I still blows me away to think, I can't believe how calm I was in dealing with that. Like, there's been two major situations, especially, and how I've dealt with both of those things has been. It's just been mind-blowing to me. I can't even put it into words. I suppose it's just mind-blowing to the crazy person that I was before. I would have lost the plot. One of them was with my daughter, actually. She's 29, and I probably would have, spazzed out. And I didn't. And I actually had to pull her up and speak to her about something. And I spoke to her really calmly. And in the end, I said, I'm really sorry that I had to speak to you about this. And she said, no. She got up and she gave me a hug. And she said, no, Mum. She said, you're in your rights. And I'm so glad that you came and spoke to me. I'm like, oh, my God. That would not have happened pre-Creatrix, I can assure you. Yep. So does that, my self-worth has just gone from, if 10 being a good thing, it's gone from, 2 to 10. Big time, in a huge way.
So we started with you. We worked on all of your insecurities and all of that negative head talk that kept holding you back from taking a leap of faith. Once we did that, talk to me about what happened immediately after the program, because, and again, I want to be really clear in this, you did not have a business. You didn't have really a following. You had just your local network of people in your social media platforms and your local community that you live in. Yeah. Talk to me about, we fixed you. We got your self-worth right up to the top. We got you feeling that you were capable of doing whatever it is that your heart desires. What happened in terms of the activity that then followed?
Well, I just felt like I was a machine. I just felt so unstoppable that there was nothing that could stand in my way. And I couldn't wait to get out on a stage to be a motivational speaker or whatever. But I was just talking to my friends on Facebook and just getting it out there, and people started to follow. And the next thing, somebody's like, I really feel like that. What are you doing? And yeah, that was that. She was looking at getting the money. She said, that was even before I'd finished the course. She'd even said to me, like, I'm so doing this. I'm really doing this. I don't have any money, but I'll find the money. I'm going to start manifesting it now. I said, no problem, do that. And then I had a second person come forth, and boom, that second person was like, I'm in. She was in and out. And that was the thing that totally blew me away, because even coming out of the training, I was still brand new, thinking, four sessions sort of thing, takes as long as it takes. And I thought, it's going to take me so much longer because I'm so brand new. And I actually got really teary, because once I'd gone through the exact process that I've been taught by our awesome trainers, between Helen, Bree, and Maz, and beautiful Donna. And when I went through to re-rate, like, she had 21 issues, Bree. Yep. And it was my first time, and I did 4 issues the very first time, because they sort of knocked the other ones out. And she came back on that very first Creatrix time and said, re-rated everything, and said basically from 10, a lot of 10s, 9s, 8s, a few 7s. After that, all were nil, all was 0. There was, except for 3, 2 were 2. And one of them was 1. And from what we're taught, that, up to 4 is quite normal. And when I'm reading this back to her, and I've known this woman for 6 years, and knowing where she came from, and I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure? Like, even though, and I'm still in contact with her, and she's just saying, oh, Kylie, you are amazing. The beautiful text that I get is like no other. It means more to me than any certificate that I could ever have in my life. I don't know. I'm going to start getting emotional again here, because when I'm reading them out, I'm thinking, oh my God, I actually did that. So, yeah. And there's been other I've had other clients since then that have gone through. Yeah, I'm just at the osteopath, you know, and boom, there's no. And the other lady that I spoke about that was first, she is just doing amazing, and she is not too far off having her very first Creatrix not this Saturday, next Saturday she will start.
Fantastic.
And the second one will actually start on this Saturday. So there's 3 just started at the moment. But yeah, I couldn't be happier, and I'll do it forever.
Let me just recap on this. So when we train our transformologists, you know, we train you to be able to offer a guaranteed outcome, which means we work with our clients for as many times as they need until their predetermined issues list are completely resolved. The average is 3 to 4 sessions. Your very first client, just weeks after gaining your certification, came to you with 21 significant issues that were affecting her life. And after her first session, you got her entire list down to something that she could look at and go, there is not a thing on that list that causes me any heartache at all.
No.
In a single session. And you've got another 2 clients coming all, and this has all happened in the first 8 weeks of your brand new business, brand new certification, all because fix you, then you're able to go out and do without any of that negative shit holding you back and causing you to feel doubt and all the rest of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that, this is something you've been wanting to do for your whole life. You've wanted to help other people, meaningful, break cycles your whole life, and you've done that in your first 8 weeks as a transformologist, even less than that. Can you please share with us, you know, because yes, you're running a business and, you know, it's been fantastic. You've been paid now also to help people. So the return on investment in your initial training has already started to be reaped. But that is really secondary, isn't it? Because it's not about the money. It's about her and how it makes you feel, because you've you know, set her heart free. So can you share with us for a minute? Because I know that this is what women really give a shit about. How does it feel to know that you have truly helped another woman to be free from some of the biggest stuff that has held her back in her life?
I don't think that there could actually be any words that I could say. It is definitely not about the money. To see those people, I know how much I hurt, Brie.
Yeah.
And to see those people in the same way as I was, and the fact that I did it, and then to see them move forward and feel so empowered, it's just unbelievable feeling. I didn't even think about the money. I could work all day. Doing what, like the people that I'm actually working with at the moment, Brie, just in the pre-Creatrix, I can see transformation already happening. And one of the ones, especially that's about to start, not this Saturday, the next Saturday, she was the one that very first contacted me before. Like, she didn't have the money, so she's done a lot of work in the process. And just to see the work that she's done on herself to get to that point, like I can't even describe it. I get lost for words. The passion is there, and never once do I think, oh my God, I wonder how much she's going to pay me. I can't wait for the next one. I never think of that. It's all, and the fact is, like, it's money back guarantee. That's what I can't believe. How many people like sort of balk a little bit, maybe say, you know, because it works. It just works. I can't explain it. When I spoke to the client that I have just broken through, and I was the same, I said, I don't know really how to explain that just yet. I'm still brand new I said, it just works. And then once she'd had her breakthrough, we're having this conversation, and I said to her, so you can actually understand what I mean now. I can't explain it. It just works, doesn't it? And she said, yeah, it just works. She can't explain it either. But yeah, it's disheartening. Like when I spoke to a person only last night, and a young mum of, you know, a 2-year-old and maybe a 10-week-old baby, that I can just see would benefit so much from this. but it's not out there. It's sort of the unknown of what. And one of the things that she said when I was speaking to her, she said, I would love to do something like that one day. And I said, you could. You could do exactly the same as what I'm doing, just like that. And anyway, then she's come back today, and that's okay. I understand, because she's not ready. I was ready. And she said, no, I'm just going to go to the gym and I'm going to eat better. And all that anxiety and my depression and stuff like that, you know, will go away. And I thought, you know, my heart went out for her, but I just knew that I needed to let her go until her time came and that she was ready. But my message out there is to people that this just works, and it's the best investment that you could possibly ever put into yourself and your children, your husband, even when I said to these people last night, I said to the partner, I said, what would it mean to you to see, you know, your partner, the mother of your children, not to suffer from the depression and the anxiety, even if it is in spits and spats sort of thing? It's still, ever since Creatrix, I just don't even feel like that anymore. I don't feel worthless or anything. And the looks on both of their faces and on his face when I said that was like, oh my God, that would just mean everything. You know, it'd be so good. But, you know, later on, they might just sort of realise and sort of come back that this is a one-stop shop. You can still go to the gym, you can still feel good about yourself, but you never have that other stuff to bring you back down to feel like that you're worthless and that you're not good enough. And frustration. I used to get so frustrated, like, because I couldn't go forward, and I had frustration, Creatrix. And I didn't even realise, I have to tell you, and it wasn't until one day somebody said, well, how are you going with that, you know, when you had Creatrix frustrated? I think it was my partner that said, and I went, you know what? I said, I didn't even think about it. I said, but I was trying to get on PayPal, and I'm not really computer savvy. I'll tell you, this is all so brand new to me in a really big way. I've had so much support. It's ridiculous, that you wouldn't get from any university. I can tell you now that I've had through the Creatrix Transformologist team at the Women's Institute International. It doesn't matter what it is. And anyway, I was having all this trouble getting onto PayPal, 3 days, and not once did I lose my shit. I can't believe it. And then this last thing that happened sort of yesterday was a really thing, because I just stayed calm the whole entire time, and it was actually a really big deal. So, yeah, I'm kicking goals all over the place, Bree.
So what would you say, and you know, I love what you were just talking about, and this is really important when we're working with clients. You know, the client has to be right and ready for the level of transformation that Creatrix provides. And the same goes for women who are wanting to pursue and fulfill their dreams of helping others. You have to be ready to invest in yourself, to, you know, face those insecurities that you've been pushing down and masking for, you know, however many years you've been doing that. You've got to be ready to do all of that. But if there's a woman who's watching you right now, Kylie, who can feel your heart, and I mean, I don't cry very often, but I get so emotional when I see the joy come out of your face, Kylie, because it is so freaking raw and authentic and real. And it's not unique, because all of our transformologists experience it, because there is nothing like setting another heart free on the planet. There's not. But if there's a woman who's watching this right now and she can feel your heart, she resonates with your story because maybe that's where she's come from, or she's got something similar going on, and there's a part of her that just keeps saying, this is what I want, but what would you say to her?
I would just say, I'd say, if they're ever in doubt, the slightest, ring me. Ring anybody through the Institute of Women, because there is so much. Do not, if this is how you feel, do not let the chance go by, because I can tell you, Donna Brennan kept saying to me, you won't believe, you know, every time a step happens, she says, I can't wait, because I was already so excited, even just committing to doing the course. I hadn't even done the course, and she's just like, oh my God, this is nothing compared to what you're going to go through, and that, you know, what you're going to learn about what I learned about myself, just about it as being a woman. Just that in itself, you get your money back. You get that and so much more. I would just say do it. Get a loan. Do whatever you possibly need to do, because if you have a heart and you want to help people, you want to set hearts free, and to see that person sit across the screen, because you do it all from your own home. You don't even have to leave home. My partner loves it, because even when I'm texting people or clients and stuff like that, or doing stuff, I'm actually out there sitting. He might be watching loves the footy, so the footy's a big thing at the moment, but I can still hear him. I'm not blocking him out, so I'm still actually with him. We're doing things together, and we have horses, so we're going to go on the road at some stage, and I'll be doing my business from the horse float. I mean, it's a pretty nice horse float. It's got a microwave and a fridge and everything in there. So, but we do sleep in there once I get it all cleaned out and made sure that, you know, the horse's stuff isn't in there any longer. But we can take this wherever we go and any time whatsoever. I can't stress anymore. Ring me, ring anybody if they are ever in doubt to wanting to set hearts free and to help Maz. I actually feel really privileged and an honour to be a part of this, of what Maz has actually created for women. It's just mind-blowing. And like, to hear her stories, like, she cracks me up big time. Like, she's so raw and real too. And it's the heart. She really does want to set hearts free. And that 10 million, and to be a part of that, I'm just stoked. I just feel that she's my queen. And I have two princesses out there, is Donna and Brie, and beautiful Helen. And well, three princesses. I've got Helen and Brie, and Donna is on her way, I'm sure. Yes. So, and probably many other people, because I just feel that this is going to blow out so big and real, that there's going to need to be more trainers out there, because there's going to be so many people, because there is so many beautiful people out there that have hearts, and once they realise that they can help other women the way that we are every day, holy dooly, when this goes off, it's going to go off, and I'm going to be there. I want to be a trainer one day and be able to help other women to do that. So down the track, I've got a few lots of things to work at, but I've got a goal, and, you know, I'll hopefully get there one day.
Darling, I have absolutely no doubt at all with your enthusiasm, your passion, your heart is in the right place. And, you know, this is why I was so excited to speak with you today. So for anyone who is watching, if there's a part of you that is going, holy shit, like every part of this is making sense. The enthusiasm, the passion, the mission, and the movement to do something for myself so I can help others, then please reach out, book in a call. Let's have a conversation about how we can get you on board, because, you know, just like Kylie said, we have a mission of setting 10 million hearts free, and that is going to happen. And the invitation is open for you to come and join us. So Kylie, thank you so much for your time today. It has been an absolute joy. You even brought a tear to my eye, which is, that's got to speak volumes in itself. And yeah, thank you so much for your time, darling. It's been really fantastic.
Thank you, Brie. It's been an absolute pleasure. Anytime.